All right, guys. Episode two, Roast and Toast Baseball Radio. It's good to be back with the boys.
Hell yeah.
Um, how are you guys doing today?
We're good. Can't complain. Excited for
Doing
this podcast.
fucking right. Let's get her going.
All right, guys. So there was a lot of news over
Thank
the
God.
weekend and
Thank
since
God.
last week. I know. It's been slow. Yeah. So let's get going. Dive right into Matt Chapman going to the Giants. What do you guys think about this move for them and for him?
For him, he needed to go somewhere. That's my biggest thought. I thought he was going to go somewhere about this point of the year. I think this is exactly where I thought he was going to sign and when. I was telling you guys over the weekend, not on camera, that I actually wrote down notes that I projected Matt Chapman was going to go to the Giants, and I didn't speak about it last week in the podcast.
Guys,
So I
prediction
will
right.
prediction right. Wish I said it or wish I said it last week. But it's interesting. I mean, opt-outs after each year are definitely good for him. I feel like he can prove himself and try to have a breakout year. And if he does a breakout year, opt out.
Hmm. Tom, what do you
I
think
agree.
about the signing?
I'm happy for him, honestly. I mean, you just think about it. Like, how long ago was he on the A's?
That was 2021, his last season with Oakland.
Right? Like going from the A's being in that like crap shoot and what's going on with them now, and he's just like on to bigger and better things. And he works his absolute ass off and has been forever. And he's been such a solid ass third baseman for such a long time. I'm happy for him, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, I could see where you guys are going with that. I don't think it's a bad contract. Um, for his level of play the past couple of years. He hasn't been at his best. I think the vast majority of his WAR comes from the defensive side. He's
Mhm.
still an above average bat, but I know he turned down $100 million from the Blue Jays,
Now, is it
and
is it 9 years? I saw the contract. It was like the
I don't
recording
know the length of
reporting
it.
that it was 9 years. I saw it somewhere, but they never. Yeah, I know it was over $100 million, which is
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty low AAV, isn't it? If it's
it might it
9 years,
might have been a little more than 100 million, but I know it
it
was
was like,
at it was one something, but I saw the at least a multi year deal with them.
yeah. I can see someone turning down that type of money when your Matt Chapman's best seasons are 848 OPS and 506 slug, hoping he gets back to that form, right? Tom, I see you have your hand up. What do you want?
6 years, 120 million. He was
Oh
offered
yeah, wow.
by the Blue Jays.
That's a good contract.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can turn that down, to be
I
honest.
guess unless he just something's going on in Blue Jay territory that we don't know about. But like I don't know what could be wrong. I mean, with Bobichette and Vladdy and like
So
that
I,
whole crew.
I I do have a snippet on Blue Jay territory. I saw the press conference he made with the Giants partially, and I noticed one of his quotes in it that he attributed his struggles after April with Rogers Center's new construction because they changed the walls out there, and he blamed that new construction on his struggles in the second half of the year. So that I guess could be a reason why.
That's interesting. He won
I'm gonna
Player
get
of
the
the Month
exact
in
quote
April,
out.
though.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the exact quote out.
Oh,
I don't know about that one, man.
drama.
I think he turns down the Blue Jays offer because he's a Boris guy. Boris wants to see his guys go to free agency so he can up the market. That's why he goes to free agency. But I don't think he's going to get that contract unless he has a monster year. I mean, Chapman,
Offensively.
right? He has to have that monster year offensively because Chapman is a guy whose defense comes before his offense, and
Mm.
you're going to naturally decline as you age, especially defensively, and well, both sides of the ball. But his best attribute is his range, and that's going to lessen as you get older, right?
That's a really, really good point.
I
He's
don't
It's a
know.
not
really good
he's
point.
not old at all, but at the same token, well, he's gonna be older. He's
He's
30. I
30.
mean,
He's 30.
he's at the prime of his year. So
Yeah, he needs to cash in.
yeah.
Only argument is Arenado, but his offensive numbers kind of trump all that whole argument.
Right.
Argument.
Arenado
So
is a different level offensively.
That contract,
Arenado's, yeah.
I was gonna say that contract, the only one pretty much similar for their base in this offseason that got a deal in that area was Candelario. because he got
Mm,
3 years, 45 million, and had worse numbers pretty much than Chapman. So it's intriguing
that's
to see
interesting.
where they got those numbers from too. But
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think we'll see what happens next year. Do you guys think Chapman's gonna stay and opt in next year, or do you think he's gonna test free agency again?
I think it all matters how he does.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree 100% with that, honestly.
And the thing is, right, he was probably the marquee third baseman in this year's market. I mean, no one would say that Candelario is a better player than him, maybe a better
No,
hitter, but all around player, no shot, right?
no.
Mm-mm.
So next year, he's not the best first third baseman. It's going to be Bregman, unless for some reason Bregman stinks and Chapman has a great year. But track record wise, I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I'm happy
Um,
for him.
he gets to be back with his manager, Bo Mel,
Hmm.
managed him in
Which
Oakland. So
Bob Melvin has completed the cycle of West teams: Padres, Oakland,
mhm.
Giants. It's very funny how he's in the span of 5 years, he's been in all those three teams, which I would, if you asked me, because he's considered the top managerial in that area for the Oakland at least for many years. To jump around that
Yeah,
much is crazy too. So he is back with
yeah,
him.
yeah. I think he's gonna do well under Bo Mel. So
Hmm.
let's hope for the best for Chappie. Um, what's our next topic here? The big,
Hmm.
massive Zach Wheeler extension.
Former Met.
I know. I mean, 3 years. Dang, how much money did he get?
He
126
got, yeah, 3 million, 126, AAV, 42 million.
per.
Crazy. 40,
Yeah.
42 million per year. Yeah.
I mean, Tom, what are your thoughts on that for the Phils?
What are we talking about? I'm sorry. My
Zach
dad popped in
Wheeler.
it.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. Zach Wheeler extension, 3 years,
Oh,
126 million, no opt outs.
I love it. I love it. He even said in the press conference too. I was talking with my buddy's dad about this last night. Shout out Pap Spade and Kevin Spade. He literally was like, he was watching the press conference and he was like, Wheeler literally said, "Listen, I'm not going to be one of those guys that tries to pitch past my prime. Like, if I suck and I'm not pitching to my like standard, then I'm going to be done and spend time with my kids or whatever." So he's probably going to be a guy we're going to be paying when he's retired, but I'm kind of okay with that. And I kind of respect that kind of like mindset coming out of him. He's like, listen, man, I want to give my balls to the wall the whole time I'm here. But as soon as like I'm not to my perfection, my standard, like I'm just going to be done and just hang him up because I'm not going to put myself through all that shit when I have like a family, friends, like all these stuff I want to do. So I'm like, I like kind of like it, just like that refreshing mindset. But I also kind of like his mindset from a baseball standpoint where he's like, I'm going to give it my all while I'm here until I'm done, until I can't give my all anymore.
No, that is interesting.
That makes sense why he signed a 3 year deal. He's 33 right now.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to end up one of those guys who I'm going to mention later too, who Scherzer, Verlander, who are at that age group where they don't seem Verlander-esque. Verlander's a different story. Scherzer being that age of what, 39 now, and injuries, injuries, injuries. Seems that Wheeler wants to stay pitching at the top of his game when he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, what do you think?
I mean, it's hard to argue with the contract. Doesn't, I mean, you're paying till age 36. So let's hope that his injury problems are behind him.
Hmm.
I mean, they haven't been an issue for the most part in Philly. I mean, right? Last year was the only time he missed time at all.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
he's been relatively healthy.
yeah, I
His
mean,
his postseason numbers last year still were disgusting. Like he was
yeah,
still pitching it the big
he,
games, the big time. He was dominating.
he's arguably been the best or maybe the most valuable pitcher in the league because of the innings he's logged. I mean, it's amazing when pitchers get to even 160 innings, it seems nowadays. And he's put up some monster innings season. I mean, last year, 192. 2022, I
He's
guess he was a bit banged up, 153, and 2021, 213 innings. That's
it's just
insane.
great. It's crazy how just dominant over the years he's been. He's had a sub 4 ERA every year since 2017.
'Cause. Yeah,
11 postseason games, Wheeler has had a 2.4 ERA. And
Wow.
he's
Yeah.
pitched at least 6 innings
Wow.
and allowed fewer than 3 runs in 8 of his 10 postseason starts.
Mm,
Like
that's
you can't
crazy.
like he deserves more money for that shit at this rate. Like how many pitchers do you see in the postseason just fall?
I
Like
don't know. I mean,
Kershaw. Like why is Wheeler not getting paid more than Kershaw right now for his
he is.
postseason
He
product?
is. But
I know.
but
I
we
mean,
but you mean like the prior contract? I mean, 'cause
Yeah,
he just got
mhm.
rewarded. Yeah. I mean, I remember when he left the Mets and people were talking about his contract. Like, why are the Phillies giving him 5 years, 118 million? I mean,
that's why.
I don't really see why people were bugging out about that because his stats with the Mets are actually pretty good. They're
Yeah.
not that dissimilar.
I was
So
really
I,
people were mad about that too. About like why are we signing like Phillies fans were like why are we signing Zach Wheeler? Why are we signing Zach Wheeler? I'm like, dude, his numbers are great. Just because he doesn't like light up the gun or like do anything crazy. I mean, he throws like over 50% fastballs. Like he's a solid ass pitcher, and it makes me so mad that people get
I
angry at
mean,
him.
his velocity is ticked up in Philly too. I mean,
Hmm.
I think with the Mets, he was like 95 to 96, 97. He would touch a little bit, and now he's sometimes hitting 100,
I
rarely,
know
but
in the
he's hitting
postseason he
like
was consistently hitting
70.
99. He was
Yeah.
consistently throwing 99 in the postseason. I will never forgive the Mets for pushing for Stroman over him towards the end of that time frame.
I mean,
That
they
was
didn't even
something.
offer him.
No, they didn't offer him. They just pushed towards Stroman, and we see how he's now on the other side of the apple.
Still a solid pitcher though.
No, I know, I
He's
know,
still
I
good,
know.
but
Just
yeah, I
hated it
know.
here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I definitely think this is a major win for Philly. Like,
Hmm.
it's such a good move for them. Just
Locking
gotta
in
hope
one
he
and
stays
two.
healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you got
facts.
you got two guys there that are you can always count on.
I was gonna say,
If
yeah,
they're healthy.
locking Nola up for that 7 year 172. They're giving their arms money. They're top guys. They're
Hmm.
aces. They deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, how do you see that rotation shaping out?
Hmm.
Honestly, it's gonna 1, 2, obviously Noah Wheeler, and then like 3 through 5/6 because of that weird like spot start thing is like does it's really whoever. I mean, Rangers, Sanchez, and Taiwan like are all solid. And honestly, personally, I think Rangers are 3, in my
Yeah.
opinion, just from his postseason like balls that he just walks steal fucking like coconuts. He just walks out on the mound with like every time and throws 80 poo and just shoves. Like it's just he's just like such an old school pitcher and like people don't like it because he doesn't throw hard, but he just absolutely like dominates and does it consistently. And like Sanchez is like a no name, but he's just a whatever lefty. But I don't know. It's gonna be weird how they shake out with the starting rotation.
Yeah,
Ranger postseason stats are great. I mean, you can just show
they
that
are.
he's consistently been throwing. He has in 5 series, 5 games, he has 1.62 ERA and yeah,
He
32
throws 80
strikeouts.
poo. He throws
Yeah,
82 miles an hour.
yeah.
It just blows my mind.
What does he
I need
actually throw?
I'm gonna
Like, what
look
does
it
he
up.
actually figure at? Like 94, 93?
I think it's like ones or twos.
Hmm.
I
I don't know.
crazy.
I hope I'm wrong.
No, yeah, no, you're right. It's his four seamers at 92 miles an hour, his sinkers at 90.
Like,
I mean,
bro,
you can't
what?
ask for you can't ask for anything more
No, a
from
lefty
your three
especially
starter
too.
in the
Lefties don't
playoffs.
even,
Yeah.
it's known lefties aren't usual guys will throw 97, 98 too.
I think Sanchez has a good chance to be something really, really good for the
Hmm.
Phillies. He kind of carried them for a month last year when
Yeah.
there were some injuries. So I don't know. I think you guys got something there. Probably might be turn out to be more valuable than Taiwan. So we'll
I didn't
I
see.
even,
agree.
that's crazy. I didn't realize Sanchez had a 3.4 ERA last year.
Dude, that's what he
Yeah.
went so under the radar. And like Will, you said it absolutely perfectly. He literally carried the Phillies turn during that weird stretch where like Harper wasn't back yet. Like he was just on
Hmm.
his way back. Like people were hurt. Like he really did just throw the whole team on his back with like no, just like completely under the radar. Enough about the
Yeah.
Phillies. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next topic. In the baseball world, that just came out today.
Not so happy
Um,
topic.
yeah, it looks like Lucas Giolito is gonna be out for the season. Which stinks. I mean, we're hoping that he could bounce back from a rough second half last year and really make some money next free agency, but
Mhm.
doesn't look like he's going to get that chance. How does this change the Red Sox outlook for the season?
I think it should change it personally. Um, they the Boston team over the years has just been a team that doesn't seem to just give up. Like not even just team, the organization. Like they will still spend on guys over the years. They've spent on top pitchers over the years. They gave Sale that contract.
Hmm.
They they shouldn't fold. I think they should sign Montgomery. That is what I think they should pivot to fully.
Hmm.
They
Tom, what do
won't.
you think?
I don't think they will. I agree completely that they should absolutely sign Montgomery, but they won't do that. Like even Giolito was op apparently was open about like agreeing with Devers about the
Hmm.
whole thing. And
Hmm.
I mean that just sucks too because I really feel like with him and Giolito hopping on Devers being like, "Yo, I'm with you. You're 100% right." Like
Hmm.
that's when the Red Sox get scary is when the guys on the team start meshing like that. But that's just brutal. Like even Jeff Passan's tweet, just really Jeff Passan
Yeah.
started the tweet. Brutal news.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole baseball world was so sad.
Well, because the reports like when it first came out this morning were just like, he's got arm soreness, and then it was like 20 minutes later it was the passing tweet, and I was like, oh wow, yep, that is
yeah,
brutal news right away.
yeah.
What do you think, Will?
I'm not really sure it changes their season outlook. I don't. I mean, like it might change for the front office, but I mean, I don't. They're still not going to be that good, right? I mean,
No,
unless there's some shocking rotation pieces that we have no idea who they
because
are or
right now
gets out of line.
I went to school in Massachusetts, obviously, and I watched my fair share of Red Sox, especially last year. Went to a few games. The guys they have, I mean, they aren't terrible, but they're not top guys. The rotation right now is Pavetta, Tanner Houck, Ryan Baio, Cutter Crawford, but I don't know
Yeah,
if you can throw like 170, 180 innings from all these guys the entire year. It's like, how are these
I
guys in
think.
this? They're so
Yeah,
young, especially not Pavetta, but Houck is still like in his third year. Bayo's second and a half year. It's like Cutter Crawford's a bullpen guy, long relief, who started starting last year. I don't know how they can expect from these guys to pitch this much.
yeah, I agree with you. I also think Hauk is more suited for the bullpen as well.
Hmm.
Bayo, I think Bayo is going to be really, really
I
good. He
I'm a
was
big
good
fan of
last
Bayo.
year. I think he's going to be a one or two. I think
Hmm.
his. I don't think he goes
Really?
further than a three. I think his floor.
Yeah,
I think is a three. I think his ceiling's a one. Um,
Wow.
so I'm excited to watch him. But yeah, I mean, I think they could go out and sign Montgomery, but it has to be at the price they're willing to pay. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Montgomery. Truly, he seems to be really comfortable waiting for the money that he wants, and I don't know if it's going to come. So
I was listening to the radio this morning, and they made a good point. What do you guys think of this? Do you believe Snell and Montgomery will be signed by opening day?
yeah, I do. I do.
I mean, the
I think
Phillies haven't put any thought into it apparently, as of reports came out. So I mean, I guess who else is there for Snell to go at this point?
The
Yankees, but
Yankees,
it's there's no they have that's
Giants.
the thing about the Yankees. The Yankees should, if they want to go all win
They would
now,
have. They would have
they
already.
would have. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you never know though. I think the Giants are in play.
Hmm. I
They go
agree with
sign
that.
Snell. If they go sign Snell, they finish. They might be better than the Diamondbacks. Might be, maybe. I don't know.
Do you think that changes? Oh, do we have time? I don't want to keep going talking about this.
Last point. Last point. Last
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Do you think this changes? This is more a question for Will. Do you think if they sign both of those guys, the Red Sox are back in after losing Giolito, even though they weren't fully in when they had him in the first place?
No, they're still going to be finishing like fourth or fifth place. I think at the most signing a Montgomery would be pushing the envelope for the next like 3 or 4 years. Like here's a guy that we can depend on in our
Hmm.
rotation, and we can build up our rotation alongside with Bayo, and bank on those guys.
Oh,
Maybe sign someone else next year or the year after that. But no, I don't think it changes anything for this year.
The East is so stacked. That's the thing. That the AL
Yeah,
East is just
yeah.
so stacked with the Rays, Yankee. It's another level.
it is. It is. But I think the Rays are going to be worse, and the Yankees are going to be better. Blue Jays might be
Mhm.
worse.
Yeah, I
I
think the
don't
Blue
know. We'll
Jays
see.
Blue Jays might be worse, but yeah, we'll see.
So next topic is pretty close to me and Demetrius's hearts. You know,
Yeah.
Jacob DeGrom, and it's really about the Rangers. Do we think the Rangers regret signing DeGrom?
I say yes. I think they do.
Tell me
I
why.
I just think that contract right away off the bat, as soon as I saw it was tweeted last year, I was like, that contract is nuts, especially someone who's had that injury prone. 5 years, 185. That's just a lot of money to give a guy who hasn't had a fully healthy season. I mean, if you want to count last year too, he wasn't fully healthy in 21. He wasn't fully healthy in 22. 23, he was not fully healthy. And just, I love the guy, and I just still think he got too good for his own body. He was starting to throw harder. It just hurt his arm way too much.
Hmm. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I'm letting you two talk about this. This is fun.
I mean, it's a big
Give
contract,
me
and
emotion. Give it to me. Pour it out. Give
you're
it to me.
you're paying for ages 35 to 39, or is it
Hmm.
40, right?
Yeah.
Bingo.
That's a lot of money
It's a
for
lot.
ages that are not going to be prime seasons, right?
It's
Um, I don't know. I think it's a dumb signing, but at the time, it's like the Rangers are going all in and they won without him. So maybe they don't care, but the next couple years, it's limiting their ability to spend, right? If they didn't have DeGrom, maybe they go out and re-sign Montgomery.
hmm It's a very good
I don't
point.
know.
I think I agree with that. Like, I think the Rangers at this point are out on Montgomery. Part of the reason is DeGrom, and I do think the fact that if they wanted Montgomery, they would have gotten him right away. They wouldn't have
Yeah.
just been waiting this long to not get him. And I think they also have an understanding too of that. It is also crazy how the Rangers did end up winning with had end up having two pitchers in the roster. You would have not expected
Mhm.
Scherzer to be the one that pitched in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty crazy how they both ended up on the Rangers a year later after Scherzer sold the 2022 wild card series. But whatever, I'm over it.
That's a whole other discussion
Uh,
for a whole nother day.
but in all seriousness, though, I hope DeGrom can get to some
Mhm.
level of form that we were used to seeing in New York. I mean, I want to see this dude in the Hall of Fame wearing a Mets cap one day. That would be awesome. I mean, I actually hope that he somehow ends up on the Mets to finish his career, but we'll
I would
see.
love that. I
I
was
was
at the
gonna ask
game
that question.
yeah. I was at the game last year in 2022 when he threw the no-hitter until the seventh, perfect game until the seventh inning, and then Danzy broke it up. And I've never heard a crowd that loud the entire game, standing the last because the fifth through seventh inning they were standing while he was pitching. It was
Hmm.
just an atmosphere that I hope to see him just obviously with the Mets at some point in the future, but I hope he gets to that point in his career again where he can get appreciated by the fans that much.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say he literally is so watching him just from like a baseball fan standpoint, watching him at his best is one of the cool like you can't replicate that. Like that's one of the coolest things ever. Just watching him literally surgically dissect hitters like it's a video game. It's so dumb.
There's genuinely nothing that like him. I mean,
No.
there was no, maybe Pedro Martinez in his prime, but that's it. That's
Maybe.
the only person I can think of. I mean, who knows what Bob Feller or like Walter Johnson was
All
doing like
these guys, yeah.
back in
Right.
the day, but I don't know. Never seen anything like it. So this is a little bit of a speed round here. Who are you looking at in MLB right now as like the most interesting player that you guys like to watch?
Oh, good question. Give me a
That is a
minute.
great question. I have I have both a hitter and a pitcher. One
Okay.
guy, very low market team, not expecting much from the team at all this year, but Lane Thomas. Lane
Okay.
Thomas had a great year last year in his fifth season, age 27. He hit 268, 28 home runs, 86 RBIs, and it just very went very under the radar. And I just feel like he could push, and the fact that he just turned 27, he could have 30 plus home runs starting at his prime right now on a team that you don't expect. I think it's very interesting to see a guy like that and how they can impact a club that is not expecting much this year at all again, but still just a unique piece for that team.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't think anyone was expecting that from him last season. So
No.
we'll see what happens this year. Tom, who do you have?
Honestly, it's a little bit basic, but I really love watching Corbin Carroll like just play baseball.
Mhm.
Like he's just so like it's just so nice to watch. As like just at like an appreciative from a baseball standpoint. Like you watching him, and you're like, damn, like I want that guy on my team every day of the week. Like it's
Yeah,
just I don't know what it is. Watching him against the Phillies, I wanted to jump off a bridge, but he's still just great to watch. Like he's so solid and just monotone throughout the whole thing. I don't know. I just love watching him play. It's cool.
He was
But
so cold-blooded. It was like he was so
yes,
demeanor was just he understood what he had to do and just he
from
was
like
in
a
that go
22 year
mode.
old,
Yeah, you don't see that.
like
yeah.
that's nuts, dude.
I was kind of wondering what the Diamondbacks were doing because they gave him a really really big contract with barely any pro games
Yeah,
under his belt. Not pro, but MLB games under his belt. I was like, what do they see? I mean, I know he's a top prospect, but why are you willing to give him that amount of money like right now? And obviously they were right. Uh, he might have been worth. I mean, he definitely worth more now than what he signed for. And
Wow,
I
yeah,
don't
the
know,
contract is kind of crazy. It's 8 years,
it's a good move.
$111 million. That's
Yeah,
not a lot of money. I mean, you look
no,
what Bobby Witt
I
just got.
mean, it's a lot of money though.
It is
oh
a lot of
yeah,
money.
like
It is a lot of money.
Like
It is a lot of
you
money.
can't turn that down
No, at
being
that age, no, you
yeah,
can't.
oh yeah. What was he like 20 at the time he signed that
Yeah,
contract?
I think so.
Like,
I don't
dude, he
know,
probably went
21.
cha-ching,
Yeah.
buy me
I
a
mean
car.
I think the Brewers just did something with their top prospect. He hasn't even played yet. I think he signed 8 year, $80 million deal. Jackson
Jackson,
Dude,
yeah,
Churia.
Jackson Horio, yeah, Jackson
Yeah.
Horio.
I think you're gonna see
Yeah.
more of that happening too.
I agree.
Yeah. It's been happening. Well, so
It's other sports do it too. I'm a big Devils hockey fan, and Devils signed Jack Hughes to a very, very small, very, very huge contract in his after his first year. And I'll
mhm,
get the numbers up. The market's different for hockey, but he is
Still,
definitely underpaid. He got 8 years, 64 million, and he was like 20 at the time. And
yeah.
he can get now over $100 million in hockey. So yeah, that's a different type of atmosphere that teams that MLB might be jumping towards that motto.
It makes sense to do it. It really does.
Hmm.
Um, so I think the most interesting players, I'm gonna go with a tandem here for me to watch this season is the double play duo for the Miami Marlins, Luis
Hmm.
Ariz and Tim Anderson. Because if you get both of them at their peak production, you're looking at these two players that aren't really appreciated by modern day baseball because they're just batting average kings, right? Um, I don't know. There's not much to say about them. They both are not great defensively, especially Arise. He's horrendous
Yeah,
defensively.
he is.
And Tim Anderson's not much better, but if they're clicking, I don't know if there's a better middle infield like pure hitter duo than those two. Because I mean, let me see the stats here for Tim Anderson. Up until last year, right?
Yeah, up until
He
last year, his stats were great.
Up until last year, I mean, 2019, he had 335, 2020, 322, 2021, 309,
dude,
2022, 301, and a rise. I mean, he hit 354 last year and 316 the year before.
Yeah,
stupid.
I
There's
the
not
fact
many players like that.
you don't see guys jump much from AL to NL and continue the batting title. That is just something that you
Hmm.
don't see a lot at all.
No, you don't. You really don't see that a lot.
I
Okay,
totally
so
forgot they were up the middle together. Sorry, that's just like blew my mind.
yeah, it's going to be a weird year for the Marlins. We'll see what happens with that team.
I mean, what isn't a weird year for the Marlins?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the first time they made the playoffs since 2003 last year in like
And
a
then
normal season.
got
I
whooped
mean,
by the
like,
Phils.
Yeah. But our last topic of the day is about Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei.
So
oh,
he just posted on his Instagram this week that he's just been married. He didn't post a picture of his wife, but um, I'm assuming she's a very classy, gorgeous woman.
Normal,
But
normal, classy. Make sure you say that
yeah,
as.
I pose a question to you guys in our little notes. Um, if Shohei had a dating show, like a Bachelor-esque dating show, what two celebrities would you want to see uh him date on the show? We'll do two each.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, easily. That's my
Bro, come
number
on.
one.
Come on,
All
bro.
right, all
Be
right, all right, all
serious.
right. Go. I'll think. Go. What do you
I was
go?
gonna say you got to go Hollywood. You got to go Anna de Arams or she's just it's all these people in Hollywood. You got to go big for Shohei. You got to go someone you're in LA, especially staying in LA. You got to go someone who's top tier.
So you're going Ana de Armas?
Yeah, Armas. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you're going for someone really high on the list.
Shohei's got to
You
go
got a
high.
you got a second name?
I do. Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo. I know she's younger than him, but Shohei's got to go high again with her too. Shohei's got to get top potential. Shohei's got top numbers. He got expectations.
Okay. Okay. I respect it. I respect it. Tom, you got anything for me?
I mean, I could go real basic. Do they have to be alive?
Yes, they have to be alive. They have
All
to be
right,
alive.
man. You didn't specify. Um, at first I'm going Sydney Sweeney just because like that would be hilarious and would literally break the whole internet.
That would be
Like,
so funny.
That would be funny. That would be really, really funny. I'm not gonna lie.
right? Like that would like I know it's like kind of a basic answer, but
No, but
that's
it's
just
good though.
funny as
You gotta
shit.
have a basic answer in
hmm
there.
All right, and then honestly, Anna Taylor Joy. Oh, that came across my screen. That'd be a good fit.
I honestly have no idea who that is. I have to do my research.
Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit.
Oh, okay. I know who that is.
Oh, okay.
There you
Dune.
go.
Yeah, no, yeah.
All
She's
right,
hot
so
in the news, hot topic now.
And she's tall. Go ahead, Will.
I actually put a lot of thought into this.
I
Oh,
knew you
I
would.
put a lot of thought into this, all right? Um, I think Shohei seems like a very wholesome, classy individual, and
hmm
I also think he's extremely intelligent. He just
hmm
gives that vibe that he's a smart guy and he knows the game in and out. Um, I don't know. So I have some two names here. Emma Watson, you know,
Ooh.
very smart, gorgeous woman. Brown education, uh, Ivy League, and then also went to the University of Oxford. And
Oh,
then,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. I'm
global.
also throwing in Gemma Chan. She's an actress. Also very smart woman, and also went to Oxford. So, Shohei the Smarties here.
wow.
I respect it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
how old is Shohei?
I don't know.
20,
I think
is it 28?
28 or
Oh,
29.
Gemma Chan is 41. Age difference. It's in
That's a
Hollywood. Who
great age
cares? Doesn't
difference.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
29.
Um, that about does it for this episode, unless you guys have any other topics you want to cover in our last 5 minutes.
I'll jump back
Um,
to another interesting player. I think a breakout guy who had great numbers previously and I feel like can be at the top of his game, Dylan Cease. He's
Okay.
very intriguing. Just had such a poor ERA last year, but his strikeout numbers were still there. 2022, he had a 2.20 ERA, 227 strikeouts, and was just one of the top pitchers of the baseball, hitting 100 all the time in the AL side. And then last year, just injury issues and 4.58 ERA, but 214 strikeouts. I still think he has a big bounce back type situation. The White Sox refused to trade him at the deadline last year. So they still have hope for him as well with their new ownership and not ownership, sorry, new general manager situation. So
Mhm.
interesting to see. I don't know how he's going to go this year, but I feel like he's going to be someone who is due for a bounce back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the White Sox I think they should pull the trigger on a trade as as soon as possible. Like, you don't want to
Yeah.
risk an injury with Cease and then not be able to get anything for him. So I don't know. I think they got to be careful with that situation. Like, maximize what you can get for him, but also don't wait too long.
hmm
Anything else you want to cover, Tom?
um, No, what about you?
No, I'm all good over here. We good for the day?
I think we're good.
All right, guys. Um, yeah, we'll see you next week, guys.